Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Islanders Never Say Die podcast. I'm your host, Sunex, and with me today, as always, is our NHL analyst and expert, the grumpy old man. They say there's no shame in his game because he's always the same.
That's me.
That's right, Grumpy. That is you. Before we get into our show, I got to go over a little housekeeping as always. If you guys enjoy the content over here, and even if you don't, please like, subscribe, turn on notifications.
Why can you not say that with more emphasis? Why can you not say that with more emphasis?
Comment so we
come
can.
Up you come up the show like a dead fish. Why is that, X?
I'm just mirroring you.
Yeah.
I'm just mirroring you, Grumpy. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications so we can juice up the algorithm and get this show out to as many people as possible. Yeah, so we usually shoot to have this show every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you guys do enjoy the content over here, go check us out on our other channel called the TJ and the Grumpy Old Man podcast. We shoot to have that show every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's pretty much a show where we talk about all sports, entertainment, everything under the sun. Isn't that right, Grumpy?
Yeah, that's right, Mr. X.
Oh, hold on. They're saying there's no sound. I'm wondering why.
I'm getting sound.
You're getting my audio? Okay.
I'm getting your audio.
All right. I don't know then. Sound is on. It's coming through. I can hear you as well. So I don't know.
See if you can just riff for a while. Is that possible for you?
See if I can riff for a while.
Yeah. Can you talk?
Yeah, sure. I can talk.
All right. Just
keep talking. So over the recent break, we had a couple of games that occurred. We had the Rangers game that was played on the 29th. Islanders ended up winning that game 2-1. We had the Predators game that was on the 31st. Preds beat us 4-3. Then we had the Caps game on February 2nd. Capitals destroyed us 4-1. And then the most recent game, which was yesterday, was the Penguins-Islanders game, which went to overtime. We had a nice Bo Horvat OT winner where we took down the Penguins 5-4. One thing I've noticed about the team, and I think Grumpy can definitely agree with me on this, a lot of our goals are scored from luck. A lot of them, either a mistake that's created by the defense, a kicked out puck that's not saved cleanly by a goaltender, or a puck that's bouncing around in front of the net where we get a lucky deflection and end up finishing off a shot. That's not conducive for winning games long term. It's not.
Welcome to Islander country, X.
The Pajot goal that was scored, he literally tried to pass it to Lee, ends up deflecting off, and he just finishes the shot. I'm like, that's pure luck. That's absolutely pure luck. He was not intending to do that.
Well, can you pull up the last stretch of games we played? It started with the second Ranger game, which we won, I believe, 2-1,
yes, 2-1.
Where we were outplayed against the Wolves, the Hartford.
Jonathan Quick let in a horrendous goal.
And then
awful
we played
goal.
The Predators, where we were thoroughly outplayed against the Predators, dominated by the Capitals, and the Penguins. It's nice.
Skinner or what's his face is awful.
Well, it was
Uh,
nice that the Penguins had Tristan Jarry back
Yeah,
for a
terrible.
one-night stand. Skinner's terrible.
Yes,
I mean, I know
Skinner's
why they made that
awful.
deal. I know why they made that deal. Skinner's, I think, is a UFA at the end of this year. It was a salary dump to get rid of Jarry, who had, I think, 3 more years left on his deal. But we're getting points, right? So we are getting some points.
We're scraping by.
But can you really say, wow, this is a team on the rise?
Or can you really say we're deserving of those points?
Okay. Who was the team that I told you about 3 weeks ago we really need to worry about? Do you remember? Any idea?
No, I can't remember which team you were talking about.
Okay. In our division, it's a team that they just made a recent coaching change.
Columbus.
Well, Columbus is 2 points back now in the Islanders with the game in hand. After the Islanders got that incredibly lucky win last night after being down, even Patrick Watt said it. There are games where, you play better than the other team. You should get points. You don't. And then, there are games where he run through the whole laundry list. And then there's games like tonight where really, you were outplayed and somehow you come away with 2 points. They all count the same. It's not even the points. It's how poorly we're playing. And you're seeing it. David Rittich has kind of come back to earth a little bit.
Yep.
Sorokin has kind of come back to earth a little bit. And when that happens, the Islanders don't win games because everything they do is not sustainable. Yesterday, I marveled at the job that Pittsburgh has done and Kyle Dubas, the general manager, in kind of rebuilding that team in a year. I know the first year he was there, they went all in, bringing in Carlson, going with a bunch of older guys, trying to have one more kick at the can. But the last 2 years, they've been selling at the deadline. And this year, you just look at some of the guys. They had the 11th pick in the draft this year. I know it was just before us. But you look at the guys who they picked up. I mean, you have a rookie. I just have to look at their roster a little bit because I'm like marveled actually at how well they've been playing, honestly, right? You have they acquired a draft pick was Ben Kindle, 18 years old. That kid's been on fire this year, right? I mean, he's got 25 points, and it seems like he's in on every single play at 18 years old. You can't, that kid's 18. You have
Schaefer's also 18.
Who else?
Schaefer's also 18.
Okay, but he was number 1 pick.
Sure.
Okay, you're expecting him to start right away. Justin Brazo, 28 years old, 6'6", 225. That kid's a force on the ice. 27 points this year. I don't know why the Islanders can't acquire guys like that. Anthony Mantha signed a 1-year deal, right? Right, 1-year deal with the Penguins. Prove it deal, right? He's been struggling, so they need a prove it deal. And look at how good he's been playing this year.
Would you say that we're a market that people want to come and play here, though?
Well, I don't even know. Is Pittsburgh somewhere you want to go?
Pittsburgh's had recent success in recent history, more so than the Islanders. So, yeah, I would say that that's probably a spot where players want to go. Plus, you get to play with Sidney Crosby.
Okay.
So they have that as a selling point as well.
Okay. I don't think that Anthony Mantha went to play with Sidney Crosby.
Maybe he wanted to. It was the same thing and I'm going to go to football, how you talk about football, playing with Tom Brady, right? He would get players to come in and want to play there because he's Tom Brady.
Yeah, but they were winning.
I feel like the same could go with Sidney Crosby.
But they were winning. Pittsburgh's not winning. When was the last time Pittsburgh made the playoffs? 3 years ago, 4 years ago? It's been a while, right?
I'm just saying they've had more recent success than the Islanders have.
But he signed a
when it comes to
1-year
cups.
prove-it deal for $2.5 million. Then they make a trade for Igor Chinnikov from Columbus because Columbus got a glut of forwards, right?
Yeah.
So they had to move somebody out. So for a second and a sixth or something like that, they get Chinnikov. He's been on fire for them. That's the type of move. I mean, he's a guy who's 25 years old. Instead of maybe going out and acquiring Andre Palat, who makes $6 million a year, and you're bailing out salary cap-wise another team in your division, why aren't you taking flyers on these other guys? That's my whole thing. It's why you're not going for guys like that. I mean, Dubas has got a nice job turning this franchise around. And you watch it, and you look at the speed with which they play, right? That it seemed like the Islanders score, and then Pittsburgh right down the ice. They just walk through our defense anytime they want. And Sorokin has to make some spectacular save just to keep us in the game. Now, he gave up a fluky goal last night.
Yes,
Absolutely.
he did. Yes.
I don't even know how it got in.
It was off his glove.
Yeah. And honestly, Vasilevsky did the same thing last night. Gave up a goal where I'm like, how the hell is that even getting in? No idea. I mean, it's
lucky, honestly.
I just feel like no matter what we do, we're not accomplishing anything. There's, I think, a freeze is tomorrow at 3:00. I don't think the Islanders are going to make any moves before then. And then there's like 2 weeks before the deadline. I've heard rumblings that Matthew Darche is not going to sell off anyone.
Doubling down on suck.
Again, I don't think that he knows. I don't think he knows what he doesn't know, which is a problem. You're looking at people making deals today, right? Artemi Panarin gets traded from the Rangers to the Kings for a third-round pick and some ham and egg prospect. He immediately signs a 2-year extension. 2 years. 2 years.
The freeze happened today, Grumpy.
Okay, today, 3:00. So they absolutely
Thank you, Matthew.
Absolutely not doing anything before the deadline today. That's right. Oh, that's right. Today's Wednesday. Sorry, I thought today was Tuesday. Sorry.
It's Wednesday, my dudes.
Well, you're right. I thought it was Tuesday for some reason. That's right. Today's Wednesday. Panarin immediately signs a 2-year extension with the Kings. 2 years, $11 million. The Islanders don't have anyone's contract coming up in the next 2 years. Is Panarin a guy who is going to be there when the Islanders are really good? No. But he makes them immediately better. If your goal is to compete for the playoffs this year, that's a type of deal I'd make.
Yep.
I mean, and he fits right in with the Islanders because, I mean, he got traded to Los Angeles, and it was because, his wife is, a model. So she wants to have a modeling career. You know what he didn't say? And this is why he fits right in with the Islanders. He didn't say he was going there to win a Stanley Cup.
Nope.
So I'm like, man, he was a shoo-in for our team.
He said, hey, I get to move out to Los Angeles. Great. Phenomenal.
I mean, and what's an easier move? Moving, 3,000 miles across the country or 35 minutes
Now,
east?
I'll say, what's a more desirable move, to live in Los Angeles or to live in, New York?
What's the difference?
Okay, well, I'm just saying when it comes to, scenery and stuff like that, I'd say probably Los Angeles a little bit better.
What do you mean, like they got fires out in California?
Oh, my God,
like that?
No.
Burning the state down?
No.
They
got beaches there. They got nice
people on the street.
There.
I mean, what are you talking about?
I'm just
it's
saying.
A dump out there. Hey,
okay.
California's a dump, dude. It is.
Not in the areas where these people are living. It's not.
Well, if you get high enough out, everything looks great from a distance.
Say not in the areas where these athletes are living.
Maybe if you fuzz your eyeballs up. What I'm saying is, I mean, did the Islanders even inquire? Did Darche even inquire about picking up? Did he ever inquire with Chris Drury about acquiring Panarin? I'm going to say the answer is probably no, right?
Yep.
Carolina. I mean, if he wanted to win, Carolina was in on him. A third-round pick and a prospect? That works for Carolina all day long. I heard he nixed Carolina. I mean,
again, another market that, players don't want to go to.
Okay, but you are UFA at the end of the year. Or do you want to win a Stanley Cup?
Well, that's my point. I think to a lot of players and to a lot of guys, winning is not the most important thing to them. Getting the bag and living in a nice area is more important than winning a cup to them. That's with all athletes. They'd rather live in a really nice area, make a lot of money, and they don't care about winning. They get to go on vacation early. That's how they look at it.
Okay. For the life of me, if you're serious about winning a Stanley Cup, again, you're there for 3 months, 4 months, and then you move on as a UFA, right? That's all it is. You're a rental, right? Why did the Rangers people, oh my gosh, the Rangers got nothing for him? Well, they didn't, because he had a no move clause.
They would have gotten nothing for him when he went as a free agent.
Right, but they healthy scratched him before we played him the first 2 games. That's why they were the Wolves the last 2 games. The Islanders played him. And it absolutely shook up the Rangers dressing room. Absolutely.
But guess what the Rangers did? They did the smart thing and moved him before it was too late, and they got nothing for him.
I understand, but what I'm saying is a lot of people are complaining that the return was slight.
I got you.
True for a guy of his talent level, absolutely. But when a guy has a no move clause, you have no leverage.
And that's what I was trying to say, though, is it's better than getting nothing for him. A little bit is better than nothing at all.
I understand. I'm saying other people said that the Rangers.
And I agree. My response is to the other people saying it's better to get a little bit than nothing at all.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
But I don't even know if Darsh made a call. Did Darsh even make a call? They have unlimited funds with LTIR options. They could have brought him in. They absolutely could have brought him in. I don't understand why he would have turned down Carolina. I don't understand why I don't understand why he turned down let's say if Colorado offered, would he have turned them down? Colorado doesn't have the money, but would he have turned them down? I just think when you're a UFA who's 35 years old, going to be 36, and you want to have a chance to win a cup, if you do, you go that last 4 months and you go for a team that has a legit shot to win a Stanley Cup. What about Tampa? He's the type of, I don't think Tampa had the money either. Carolina.
Unless you don't care about winning, which is what it seems to be with him.
That's why I think he would have fit in with the Islanders so well. He would have been a perfect match for this team. That's what's frustrating. But did Darcy even make a call?
I want to say probably not.
I mean,
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say probably not. But that said, I still don't think we would have got him. I think he wanted to go to LA. Period. That's where he wanted to go.
Okay, well, he got his wish.
Sure.
So good for them. But I mean, the 2-year extension, just 2 years. He was, last week he was asking for like a 6 or 7 year extension is what he wanted. 5, 6, making a ridiculous, but 2-year extension, man, that was so doable for the Islanders. It really was. Yep. For 2 years for him, absolutely, I would have done that. Absolutely. I just don't know what Darsh is doing. I don't think he knows what he's doing.
You think he's in over his head?
I think he's always been in over his head.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully we can sell. But
I'm gonna guarantee you we're not selling.
Well,
and JG Pajot has really increased his value. It looks like he's really got jump in his step.
Yep.
I mean, Andersley is what he is. I mean,
got to deflect shots in front of the net. I
mean, you got Palat is basically the same guy. I mean, does Andre Palat realize that you're allowed to wear skates on the ice and not sneakers? Because, I mean, that's about as fast as he looks like he's walking out there. Dress shoes, he's out there. Terrible. Susie, terrible. Glad we got those guys.
I wanted to ask your opinion on how you thought Susie's been playing. Because I know he did score a goal.
And he gave up 3. He's been victimized out there. People just walk right by him. 32 years old. He's a rental.
Yep.
I don't know. 3rd round pick for Susie or a 3rd round pick for Panarin. Which would you do?
Panarin.
I mean, right?
But again, it's to the player's discretion on where they want to go. He gets to make that choice. And let's say he didn't want. Let's see the only place he said that there's an option for him to go was out in California. That's it. It's the only place he wanted to go to. Well, then every other team is out of luck.
Well,
and it seems to me
you make
that
it miserable for him. You make it miserable for him.
It seems to me that the fact that he turned down Carolina, a team that's actually a cup contender for the last 3-4 years they've been a cup contender. They've really been in it. It seems to me since he turned down that offer, he really doesn't care much about winning, and he cares more about where he lives and how much money he makes.
Well,
is that really a guy that you want on your team?
I don't see the Kings winning anything anytime soon.
And that's my point. He cares about where he lives and how much money he makes. And is that really a guy that you would want on your team? Not me.
Yeah.
Not me. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So
but here's the thing. If you ask me, Columbus is going to top us.
I think Columbus will too. They're on a 6-game win streak now.
Yeah. They won tonight too.
Yeah, they're hot. They're hot. They're getting hot at the right time.
Rick Bowness, I believe, is 10-1 or 11-1 now, since he took over as coach.
Are you worried the Caps could potentially jump us as well?
They lost to Philadelphia last night. Okay, the Caps outplayed us, but everybody outplays us.
The Caps killed us.
Well, there were 2 late goals, but they outplayed us in that game.
Our only goal was scored off of a poor pass in front of the net right to Barzal. Right in the slot, right in front of the net.
I understand, but we're just outplayed every night.
Yeah.
The money puck. I can't remember the last time the Islanders deserved to win a game. Maybe the first Ranger game, they deserved to beat their opponent, according to Money Puck. I don't even know what Money Puck is, but since it validates what I've seen with my eyes, I use that. Chances to win, a percentage chance to win. So I just don't know where we go from here. And the worst thing is, I don't think Darsh knows where he wants to go from here. Is he willing to? Is he going to make another trade before the deadline? I don't think they're moving anyone off the team.
I really hope they do. And honestly, if they don't, I would be extremely disappointed. Very, very, very disappointed because this team's not winning anything. Not winning anything. If Darsh looks at the team and their current state right now and says, yeah, this is a cup contender, this is a team that's really good, he doesn't know anything. He does not know anything. They don't have the right pieces. They don't have the right players. They have a couple of really good pieces, but they don't have enough.
Was it Billy? What's his name? Who the hell is the guy? Thornton. What the hell is his name?
Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton, landman guy. Yeah. Sling blade.
Yeah.
He was in Armageddon. He says, tell the president, prepare the world for disappointment. When the asteroid's going to hit the earth. That's kind of what I feel like with the Islanders right now. Prepare the Islander kingdom for disappointment. That's just the way I feel right now. And it's frustrating because you see other teams being able to rebuild on the fly. You see it. And we just can't seem to be able to do that.
Or being open to rebuild, right? Being open to rebuild.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, if you're not trading away players to get more picks to try and benefit your team for the long haul, you're not open to rebuilding then.
Or if you are making deals, you're not making deals for 36-year-old Andre Palat or 32-year-old piece of shit Carson Soucy. You're not looking to acquire guys like that. You're going after guys like Chinnikov. You're going after younger players. That's what you should be doing. Something that you can build around. You have some core pieces on this team, 4 to be exact, right?
Yep.
Schaefer, who's big, he's the big one, right? We're going to put up his points in a second. We're going to put his points up on the board here in a second. Barzal, who's been really, really good. Sorokin has been sensational this year. And hey, what do you know? Bo Horvat back from the dead with a couple of goals last night, his first since 2 years. And I know he was injured. Well, but it's funny how all of a sudden he's able to perform well as soon as those Olympics start coming up. I don't want to get my ass kicked off the team. I better start playing better.
You know what? I will say it takes some time to bounce back from an injury, especially when you've been out for a while. So it is nice to see him at least, contributing again.
Yeah. And
I'll give him that. I'll give a guy credit. Coming back from an injury is tough. It takes some time to get back in the rhythm of things. So
the line combinations have been terrible. I mean, he benched Duclair for almost the whole game last night because, well, Duclair doesn't back check. He doesn't back check. He's never back check. He's never done that. He's never done that. Ever. Last year, they sent him home for it. No, I mean, are we going to see that a repeat of last year when he quit on the team?
We'll have to have
that again.
We'll have to have another meeting. We'll have to have another meeting.
He scored what, 8 goals in 9 games. Then he doesn't score a couple of games, and he's like captain quit again. And I think Wah just tolerates him at this point. You got Henneman. How useless has he been down the stretch?
Yeah,
I don't even say that. I don't even say that. He is who he is. When they try to force him on that first line, they're making a mistake. That's not the strength of his game. Stop trying to fit square pegs into round hole. Just stop doing that. Doesn't work. It's just frustrating. Just frustrating. Nope. As a fan of the team, just frustrating when I see all these other teams, what they are able to do, and our general manager just not capable of doing anything. And it's not just him, right?
It's ownership as well.
No, Lamoriello was the same way.
Okay, here's what I'll say, though. The fact that you've had 2 GMs and they're still doing the same mistakes tells me, guess what? It's not a GM problem.
No, it is a GM problem.
So you think they just keep striking out on the GMs? You think that's what it is? They just keep swinging and missing on every GM that they bring in.
Lamoriello was in it to win it, being 100 years old, 150 years old, whatever he is. He was in it to win it. But time passed him by.
I'm saying you have to think about it a little bit. A little portion of it has to be an ownership problem. It has to be.
Okay, well, what's your plan? When you talk to ownership, do you just say, hey, well, I mean, does ownership not look at the standings? Maybe they
I don't think ownership cares. As long as their pockets are getting filled with green, they don't care. As long as they're making a profit, they don't care.
I don't know how much money they're making when the stands are half empty.
They're not half empty for their home games. The game against the Penguins was filled. Yeah, filled because guess who's filling up the seats? Number 48 is filling up the seats.
I thought you were going to say number 87.
No, number 48 is filling up the seats. But I mean, honestly, that's it. They don't care as long as they're making money. And if they say, hey, you know what? We can go ahead and not trade anybody. We can squeak into the playoffs and make some more revenue during the playoffs. Let's go ahead and do that. And that's an ownership problem. That's a problem on ownership.
Look at what Pittsburgh's done.
Pittsburgh's different. They have different owners. They have different owners.
Barely even has an owner. But what I'm saying is Washington.
Maybe that's why they're better. They don't have an owner getting in the ear of the
Washington
GM.
did it 2 and 3 years ago. They were able to subtract from their team and add to their team at the same time. Subtract out the veterans, bring in younger players with the assets acquired for the veterans. Why are the Islanders not capable of doing that? Why not? The old man was too old, set in his ways. He gets a pass for me on that. He was still using a freaking Rolodex at the end to contact GMs. He didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Now,
the new guy.
Who is it that hires the GM, Grubby?
Yeah, ownership hires GM. I got it.
So, okay, the blame falls. If your GMs stink, the last 2 GMs you've had have been awful, the blame falls on your ownership. How can you say the blame doesn't fall on them? They're the ones who are hiring them.
Okay, but they hired the guy to do his job.
My point exactly. They're not hiring the right guy, so that falls on them.
Okay, but you're not going to fire a GM every year. But but the more I watch what Darsh has not done, the more I worry about him. That's been my issue, right? I said I would give him to the end of this offseason. Nope, not anymore.
If he sells before the deadline, I'm fine with it.
If he does not sell,
I have an issue with it.
Okay, well, I'm clairvoyant. I know this guy's not selling.
I'm going to give the guy the credit. I'm going to give the guy the benefit of the doubt and wait till it actually doesn't happen.
Now, you have Drew sent you a little clip of something you said on a podcast, correct?
Yes, he did.
Your bold buddy Darsh.
Give me 1 second. I can pull it up here.
I'm just interested to see what he said.
Yes, let's go ahead and share this with you. It says here, Darsh says he wouldn't trade a first for a 35-year-old. Very silly people might find this surprising.
Okay, is there a clip of it?
My team or the player at the right age, Would I give a first round pick for a 35-year-old right now where my team is at? Probably not. But if I get
Probably not.
the right age, and that will be with me for a few years, I'd do it all day long, because you're acquiring a player that's 100% for a pick that's X number of percentage chance of being a player.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
there's some of that. So yeah, to me, I all picks, it's just a way to acquire a player.
And that's it.
Now, he said he wouldn't trade a first-round pick for a 35-year-old. You think he'd trade 2 first-round picks for a 35-year-old? He didn't say he would or wouldn't. And who are you talking about? Is he talking about Stamkos? I don't know what he's talking about. I mean, yeah, you never trade a first-round pick for a 35-year-old. Ever, in my opinion. Certainly not where this team is.
And then also this was sent in by Drew here. It says Elliot Friedman on NHL Network yesterday for the Islanders here. Let's listen in.
Team made 2 trades this week. I don't necessarily think they're done. I think the Islanders would really like to build on the momentum they've started to gain this season. So I'm still watching them. Team made 2.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
What momentum have they built this year? They're the same, with the exception of Schaefer and a rebound of form of Sorokin. They are the exact same team as last year and 2 years ago.
The momentum of a horseshoe. That's what they've been building on.
Right
Pure
up there.
luck. Yep.
I mean, I just can't, for the life of me, I just don't understand it. The hockey gods gifted them Matthew Schaefer, gifted them. Where would they be without Matthew Schaefer? They'd be the Rangers. They'd be the Rangers.
Yeah, they absolutely would be. They'd be an awful team.
They'd be the Flyers.
Yep.
I mean, I don't understand that thought process at all.
And that's my issue is if ownership and your GM can look at this team and think, hey, I don't know, 60, 70% of our goals have come from bouncing pucks in front of the net or weak goaltending or turnovers by the other team's defense. If they can't see that and say that 60 to 70% of our goals come from mess ups by the other team, that's not beneficial to win you games long term. Because guess what happens when those teams don't mess up anymore? When you get to the playoffs and you're playing against better teams, what happens? You lose those games. You get killed.
You get Carolina.
You can't be consistently reliant on other teams making mistakes for your team to be successful. And that's the situation we're in currently. We're reliant on other teams' mistakes.
I was just astounded because I don't watch a whole lot of Pittsburgh games. I have not this year. I was astounded how good they looked against us yesterday. Astounded. It looks like two different, like a first place team and then the Islanders. That's what it looked like to me.
Even though we got the win, it was just because their goaltending was atrocious. Skinner was awful.
And it was a road, I was on a road game, no less.
Yeah.
I didn't realize their team speed is so much better than it was last year. So much better. We need that. We need something like that.
I did want to say something. I did notice this in the game as well. This might be a hot take, but do you feel Schaefer struggles more against, I guess, guys who are like, I noticed with Sidney Crosby just pretty much danced right around him. And I don't know if it's because he's young. He struggles with guys who are more technical on stick handling than guys who have bursts of speed.
Well,
that's one thing I noticed.
Well, because he can outskate anybody.
Yes, and yeah.
Okay, and Crosby did
dance right around him. I was like, oh my God.
But you know what? That I'm going to bet you he never played anybody like that in juniors.
Absolutely not. I mean, Crosby still at this age is still elite when it comes to stick handling.
And I bet you
never lose that ability.
I bet that kid was looking at the film this morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yep. I just noticed that, and I was wondering if you kind of had the same opinion that I did, that I feel players who are more technical when it comes to stick handling as opposed to bursts of speed eat him up a little bit. But I think he'll grow out of that.
Yeah,
the longer he's playing, because he's still 18.
He's 18. Can we look at his numbers real quick?
I can pull them up.
His numbers. Also, I wanted to mention something before we pull out. There's, I know we've been kind of pining for Gavin McKenna. Hopefully, get a shot to get Gavin McKenna here. We have some news on him that we're going to bring up right after we show these Schaefer stats, which now I believe he has 16 goals. I believe I said he was going to have 21 before the end of the season. Is what I predicted. He's well on his way. And he has more goals than Cale Makar this year. Is that correct, X?
Yes, he does have currently more goals than Cale Makar. A second, I'm trying to find him. He might not be. Is he in Hockey Reference yet?
Absolutely. Do you know how to spell his name?
I might be spelling it wrong.
Probably.
Matt.
Just spell his last name.
There he is down there. Yeah, we found him. We got him.
Put his numbers.
I am putting them up.
45 minutes since I've been covering for you here.
Covering for me. All right, here we go.
Okay, 39 points in 57 games. What do you think he ends at, X? Because he's kind of hit the wall a little bit. Hit the wall. You're seeing it defensively in particular. How many points you think he ends up with the end of the year?
I'm gonna say he ends up with 50 points.
50 points. Okay, I think that's fair. I'm going to say 53 points.
Okay.
I'm going to say 53. One good thing for the Islanders with the Olympic break coming up, it can't come at a better time for the Islanders. And it couldn't come at a worse time for Columbus and for Pittsburgh. For the teams that are really hot, this break could not come at the worst time. I think this is great news for the Islanders coming up on the Olympic break. It gives them a chance to reset. Like I said, they only have one guy going to the tournament. I don't know what Patrick Waugh's plans are. Probably give the guys – I don't know if you're allowed to practice or not, but it's going to give them a nice chance to reset, maybe just take a deep breath, regroup a little bit, and I think that'll be good for the second half of the season.
Maybe they can pull the Brady method and have their own, team bonding practice, right? Yeah, unsanctioned practice out on the pond again, right?
Maybe. You never know, right?
Yep.
But Matthew Schaefer, he's going to break Phil Housley's record for goals by an 18-year-old.
Yep.
Imagine if he had some higher-end forwards to work with and to work off of how many points he'd have.
A lot.
He's been a godsend for this franchise, him and Sorokin, two best players on the team. Barzell's been great. Horvat's been really good. Other than that, there's not much to write home about this year. Yep. But what about Gavin McKenna? Actually, you have any news on what happened to Gavin McKenna today?
Yes, give me 1 second.
I know we're interested in Gavin McKenna. And, we've been wanting to potentially get him. I don't think you even need to have the number one pick in the draft to get him anymore. He's absolutely dropped. And after what happened today, I think he's going to drop even further.
Yes, so we have here.
Do we have what happened today? Tell us what happened.
So Gavin McKenna here, I'm pulling it up. Gavin McKenna is facing 4 charges, including a felony aggravated assault after an alleged altercation downtown Saturday night. I think sorry.
Was it after 2:00? Because nothing good ever happens after 2.
It does not specify the time. I'm not sure about the time.
Now,
this is great news for the Islanders.
Well, no, you know the Rangers are going to get him, don't you? The Rangers are going to get him. It's going to be the Rangers. It's not going to be Pittsburgh. It's going to be the Rangers. Now, we do have some film on this event, do we not, X?
Yes, we do have. We
have some film on this, with the little descriptor. So just something that we learn about Gavin McKenna right here.
It says Gavin McKenna to some random civilian when he heard he might go to the Canucks first overall.
Been roaming around, always looking down at all I see.
Oh,
God. Little Undertaker time right there.
That's the Undertaker giving a wicked chair shot to Maven.
Very, very, very true. But yeah, that's the Gavin McKenna news. Yeah, not good for Mr. McKenna there, but
everything is kind of tightening up in the Metro. The more you look at it, you have to say, guess what? There's going to be no playoff teams except for the standard 3 coming out of the Metro. I think the Islanders are 8th in the conference right now. And, when you're 8th in the conference, you're going to be scrambling, right? Yep, they're 8th in the conference. Columbus is only 2 points back with a game in hand. I just think that they're really coming on, Columbus. I think Columbus is going to pass us, particularly if they continue to get that goaltending from Jet Greaves. I don't think we catch. I think they're going to pass us. But like I said, the break comes up on a good time for the Islanders. X, I do want to jump into our ad read, though.
Yep.
If you don't mind. It's going to be from our friends at DraftKings. Is there anything special coming up this weekend? Some type of big betting event?
I think there's some kind of big event that's going on. Something called it's bowl that's super
Bowl.
That's
Super
right,
Bowl
the Super Bowl.
60 deserves a sports book built for the moment. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 60, puts you right in the center of the biggest game of the year. Is this really the biggest game of the year, X?
I mean, if you're the Islanders, no, because making the playoffs is your biggest game of the year. But yeah, for other teams, yeah, usually the championship is the biggest game of the year.
That's fair.
Typically.
Anything can happen during the Super Bowl, and DraftKings has your back with early exit. If your player goes down in the first half, boy, you had a lot of that this year. You still get paid in cash when your bet settles. No bonus bets, no waiting. While the sportsbook don't offer injury protection, this is great for DraftKings. Injury protection, I love it. DraftKings covers the entire first half, even the second quarter. And early exit works on live bets too, pre-game or in-game. DraftKings has you covered. Who would you say is going to who has to have a big game for the Patriots to win?
Drake May probably going to have a pretty big game, not turn the ball over.
I think it's Drake May. And for the Seahawks, who has to have a big game, you think?
Sam Darnold. Gonna have to have a big game. Kenneth Walker gonna have to have a big game.
Who's their best player though?
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah. If he has a big game.
Oh, okay. Even if he has a mediocre game, they're gonna win.
Yeah.
It's Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold can't screw up.
Okay.
That's what's on.
Who are you picking for MVP of the game? If
I said Jackson Smith and Jigba was my MVP pick going in. I think he's gonna have a huge game.
If it's the Patriots, we're both going to agree that it's going to be Drake May.
Yes, if it's the Pats.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Now, for me, you say Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think it's Kenneth Walker.
I don't know. I think Jackson Smith and Jigba is just really good, and I think he's going to eat that Patriots defense apart.
Well, the more people start talking, now that everyone's talking themselves into that Sam Darnold is going to turn back into a pumpkin. He's going to turn the ball over a lot.
He could.
Because their defense is so good. Okay, I realize they beat a team with, the worst offensive line in the league in the Chargers, a team that had no quarterback in C.J. Stroud, and a team playing with a backup quarterback in Jarrett Stidham in Denver. But, Sam Darnold, they're going to get to him, and he's going to turn back into a pumpkin like he used to be. All I know is, and here's the thing, could that possibly happen? Yeah. They just keep on saying, well, Drake May is going to be able to really match up. This is a good matchup against the Seattle defense. Seattle's had the best defense in the league this year.
One of the best. I'd say Texans was the best defense.
Least amount of points. That's how you really gauge it, right? Least amount of points, Seattle.
Seattle's good.
I think the fourth or fifth lowest points allowed in the Super Bowl era. That's pretty darn good, right?
Good. Yeah.
To me, I'm picking Kenneth Walker, the third, for MVP. I just think if they have to stop him. If they can't stop him running the ball, they are not beating the Seahawks.
Yeah, agreed.
It's just that simple.
I agree.
I mean, but there we go. But if you're new to DraftKings, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. That's a pretty good deal, X. No?
Yeah, that sounds good.
$5 to potential for 300 in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN. And turn $5 into 300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states, void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Oops, got a second page. Best bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required for additional terms and responsible gaming resources. See dkng.com/audio limited time offer. So Super Bowl, we'll talk about our Super Bowl predictions at the end. Unless you just want to talk, who's your Super Bowl prediction, X, and what score?
Oh, God. Seattle by 100. No, I'm just playing. I got Seattle. I don't know. I think they'll probably win by 2 touchdowns, 14 points at least.
I think Seattle by 10.
Okay. Sure.
Now, this, here's the thing. In the olden days, before they started fixing games, like X likes to say, there'd be every Super Bowl be a blowout. Every single one's a blowout. But very rarely do you see blowouts anymore. The officials know how to keep both teams in the game, keep the viewers watching those TV commercials. I still think Seattle by 10. I just think Seattle, the NFC in particular, has been the best conference this year. I don't think it's been close. I thought the Rams were the best team overall.
I didn't. I told you from the start, I thought Seattle was the most balanced team out of any team that was in the playoffs. They had good enough offense, and their defense was really good.
I know. I thought the Rams, and that's when everybody's saying, well, the Rams were able to do this to Seattle's defense, so I think the Patriots can too. Okay, the Rams have Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams,
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp's with Seattle now. That's right. Sorry.
I mean, but they got those two big guys. They got two great running backs, and Kyron Williams and Blake Corum. And, Matthew Stafford was having an MVP, probably the league MVP, right?
Well, he's having an MVP season. Yeah, he's up there. It's between him and Drake May.
He's going to win the MVP.
He should. He played a lot more difficult opponents than May had to play.
Book it. He's winning the MVP. But let's get to – so like I said, I'm picking Seattle also. Would it shock me if New England won? No. I mean, they've been pretty lucky so far. They haven't played anybody this year, and they've gotten every break. But, they could. I mean, something could happen. Sam Darnold could break his leg. Maybe, I don't know. But they could win. But I'm picking Seattle going. Let's hit on some comments. What do you say?
Let's do it.
JP says, okay, I know this club keeps getting W's, but they really do suck. Stuart Skinner is just awful. That's a very fair assessment.
Yeah.
Very fair assessment.
Agreed.
Bill Rising said, no sound. Sound forgot to pay the bill. Nope, sound is working.
Nope, sound's working.
Gungun says, will the Rally Bird get the Islanders season back on track? Son X at Grumpy's Mansion. What's your favorite snack?
Ooh, there's quite a few snacks that I do
Anything
enjoy.
that's not nailed down pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. I'd say that's fair assessment.
The warden makes sure she has anything her little sonny boy desires.
She knows.
Freedom Fun Adventure says, I'm working on some trade proposals. Rate this proposal. A farm in South Carolina is seeking a jackass plow mule in exchange for 3 months of meat and veggies. I think sending them TJ for the food is great. That's not a bad deal. Do you remember, X, when TJ said they had this mound of dirt?
Yes.
I mean, how big that mound had to be? What, like 30 foot high?
Something like that. And he said that he could clear out the whole mound with a shovel in a day.
I thought he said
in a week.
Okay, in a week. I'm like, it's still there.
Yeah,
it's still there. It was like a mountain almost.
It was literally like a little mini. It was like a big hill. Is what I would say it was. Huge. You should clear it out and level it out in a week.
I'm like, dude, you're crazy.
Insane.
Freedom Fun Adventure says, Grumpy styling tonight. Who purchased that for you? And which of your credit cards did they use? It was the warden, and she used my own credit card, of course.
Was that a WAP, Grumpy?
Warden approved purchase.
Yeah, a little WAP.
Matthew Sklarov says, yep, Columbus is charging hard. Yeah. Coaching change really helped them. Gungun says, will the Islanders squeak into the playoffs by 1 point or miss it by a point? Son X, pass me that joint. X, what do you think? You think they make the playoffs by a point, or miss it by a point?
I think they're going to make the playoffs. I want them to miss the playoffs.
I think they're missing the playoffs.
You think they'll miss?
And that's we'll see what happens.
I mean, there's a high possibility that they don't make it. I will agree with that, but I don't know. I just think they'll turn it on at the end of the year just enough to make the playoffs. My thing. I was hoping that they were mathematically eliminated before the trade deadline, so they'd be forced to trade players.
What was the thing I said was worst case scenario? Worst case.
They don't trade anyone because they think they have a possibility of making the playoffs, and they don't end up making it.
Yep, that's it. Matthew S. also says Washington is the other team I worry about. Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, they're playing better than we are. Washington is playing with 2 AHL goalies right now. Their 2 starting goalies are out, injured. They're playing with 2 AHL goalies. We're able to beat us with an AHL goalie. who was spitting out rebounds like they were he was a Pez dispenser. Terrible. JP says, not big save, Dave. No, he's been struggling a little bit lately. He has. I mean, he's not going to have I like Dave Riddich. I like him. I think he's great as a backup, but you can't expect him to have a 930 save percentage whole year. You can't do it, particularly with the chances that we give up, hemorrhaging chances. Freedom says, I believe Islanders showed they are not a playoff team. Sell Lee, Pajot, Duclair, Drouin, Sezikis, and Shabanov, and one defenseman at least. Trade prospects that don't fit or are blocked. That way retool for next year while gaining assets. You're never going to move that many guys. It's just not going to happen. But I do like your thoughts on that, Freedom. To me, why did we trade a third-round pick for Carson Soucy? Why? Why not play Isaiah George, or the Warren kid, Mitchell Warren, or who's the other kid who was the AHL player of whatever? McCall, the defenseman. Why not play those guys, rotate them on a nightly basis, and see if any of them stand out playing the rest of the year in limited minutes, because that's what it is. It's limited minutes is what you're going to give those guys, and just see if they're capable of being part of the solution going forward. It's the same thing I said about Kiefer Bellows years ago when we were not going to make the playoffs. Play him every single game. Find out if he could be a solution or not. You'd know after 40 games to see if he could. If not, move on from him. Same thing with this. Same thing with these Islanders. Could we make the playoffs? Yeah. Right now, the pundits are saying we have like a 15% chance of making the playoffs. And we're in playoff position. 15% chance. No one believes in this team. I don't even know if the guys in the room do. I think they do. That's more of a joke. But still, I don't know. Next, please, Mr. X. Goon says, is it me or did the Rangers get fleeced today in the Panarin trade? Son X, what's your preferred pomade? I don't know what that is. I don't know
what that is either.
They were the Rangers. Yeah, they got fleeced in the trade because he had a no move clause.
Yeah, I'll say they didn't get fleeced in the trade. They got whatever they could get for him. I don't consider that getting fleeced. You know what they did? The smart thing. They moved him early as opposed to getting no value for him. That's a smart thing to do.
Well, I think they just
the team wasn't winning anything.
They wanted to get rid of that situation. They didn't want him with the team when everybody came back from
international break
from Italy. Yeah. They didn't want that. They did not want that. Fleet Dream says, Grumpy, you're 100% correct last week. Now let's see if Dosh has the balls to trade Lee, Pajot, and D'Angelo by the deadline. I'm going to tell you that I'm hearing rumblings. There's no way he's looking to subtract from this roster. No way. Thinks I don't know what he thinks. What's the difference between him and Lamoriello? Really not much.
Again, I'm going to give the guy the benefit of the doubt until he doesn't make any moves, until he doesn't trade anybody. There's still time. If he doesn't, then I think we can go ahead and critique him, right?
You're adding rentals. When you're adding rentals, that means you're not selling.
I'm going to give the guy the benefit of the doubt until he actually doesn't do it.
Okay. JP says, even if the Islanders make the playoffs, they're going nowhere. That's correct. Firmly believe that. Frank from Empire State says they can win a first round versus Pittsburgh. The Capitals are too big for us. It depends on who is in goal for Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh beats us. They're just so much better than we are. It's not even like, they've been dominated by Pittsburgh. Dominated. I'll tell you one thing. They ain't never beaten Carolina. Guggen says, one thing you have to give the Islanders this season, they're very good in overtime. Son X, did you ever grow a goatee?
No.
You never grew a goatee.
No.
They are very good in overtime and in shootout this year. Very good. Pittsburgh, I think, is 1-7 in shootout this year, which that's like surprising, isn't it? For the skill guys they have, 1-7. But of course, look at who their goaltenders are. It's like 3 automatic goals. Next, please, X. Fleet Dream says, this year is a transition year, not a make the playoffs year. Sure, we're doing well, but we have to sell. Yeah, but that's not how management is treating it. You're right. We should be selling, but they're not. They're buying. You get what you get. JP quoting one of the brothers in Trading Places, sell, sell, sell. Darsh sucks. He's a shitty GM. Declan says, how about Mason Marchment? He makes $500 more than Drouin and is basically a point per game guy. Columbus only gave up a second and a fourth. Yeah, why not? Why are they not capable of making a move like that? They don't. That's my thing. I don't think I don't know if he's creative enough. He should know that, you add a guy like Marchment, and guess what? He can help your team now and in the future. Are you going to say that about Palat or Susie? You're not. And he makes nothing compared to what those guys make. Gungu says, Sonex and Grumpy, since guests have been banned from the Islanders Never Say Die podcast, let's discuss who was the best and who was merely a pest. I cannot believe that you brought this quote up here. Coach Tommy B, Ariel, Al's Girl 3, Greg Prado, Phil's Facts.
I just starred the comments. I'm trying to read them while you're telling me next. It's tough. It's tough.
They were all good guests except for Greg Prado. He was the worst.
Oh, my God.
But Isles Girl 3, we have a special place in our heart for her. We always had great guests.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Frank from Empire State says the Ranger trade was horrible. Yeah. They were between a rock and a hard place. Had to get them off the team. Just that plain and simple. Declan says, while I usually agree with you guys about not aggressively buying right now, but I think they should go and get Robert Thomas. He's 26 on one of the best contracts in the league, 8.1 for 5 more years. I don't know why I'm not, and I know Declan, I think, brought this up last week. I don't know why I'm just not high on Robert Thomas. And maybe I should be. But that's the type of player you should be looking to acquire. Somebody who's younger like that. With the future ahead of him, he's already under contract.
Somebody who will be there when the rebuild finally takes place.
I just don't know why I'm not high on him in particular. But I'm really not high on anybody from St. Louis. That's just maybe it's just a bias on my part. But that's the profile that we're looking at, right?
I'm going to say it's a bias by you, Grumpy.
What, X?
I'm going to say it's a bias by you.
It could be. Very much could be. Matthew says, Panarin was never coming here. He wanted to go to one of the Florida teams, but they couldn't make the cap work. That's the whole thing. Florida wanted him.
Yeah, I think he wanted to go to a touristy destination. That's where he wanted to live.
You mean Belmont's not one of those touristy destinations?
No.
Okay. Freedom says,
you want to go somewhere where it's nice and warm.
Mantha blows at hockey. I heard rumors Darsh is trading guys because he knows they can't pay Pajot the 4 years in dollar value. He, as an agent, knows they will get on the open market. Then you move him.
Yep.
Then you move him. If you don't think that he's worth that money at 33 years old, which he's not, you move him. You don't. I'm stunned. I'm stunned that you're even considering re-signing a 33-year-old bottom 6 player to a multi-year deal. Freedom Fundamental says, Green Tree is the type of player that might turn into something big, scores, hits, fights, but the prospects die with the Rangers. He can't skate. He can't skate. If you can't skate, you can't play. Just that plain
It's the most
simple.
important thing in the sport.
Matthew Sklarov says, once again, Panarin blocked a trade to Carolina. Yep. Unbelievable.
Which tells me he has no interest in winning. He
Do
wants
not
to
care
go
about
somewhere.
winning.
He wants to go somewhere where he can live his best life that he wants in a nice area and make money. That's it.
You know that Carolina is going to make a deal before the day.
Yes, absolutely.
You know
Well, they're going to be in it.
And then Matthew adds, I think they might have gotten a little bit more, but maybe not. The Rangers didn't want him anymore, but he didn't want to leave. So he effed them and used his leverage. Yeah, well, that's the way it is. That's what happens when you give everybody on your team no move clauses. Can't do it. Stop doing it. If the owners weren't so cheap, they would say, you know what? Screw these no move clauses. We'll give you limited no trade, whatever. We'll do that. But no move clauses, because here's the thing. You wonder how they could get that done, X, in the next CBA? Give the players a little bit more money. Give them more money, and all of a sudden you can make those no. And let's say that's your bargaining chip. We want to get rid of the no move clause.
Yep.
They could do it, but they're cheap. They've always been cheap, and they really screw the players. I feel bad for the NHL players. Frank from Empire State says, X-Men, I guarantee Darsh made a call to the Rangers, but he just probably forgot. He was probably like to find out what their coffee order was. Do you guys really think they would trade him to the Islanders and watch them succeed? Come on, grumpy old man. They just traded Carson Soucy to the Islanders, so don't say that they wouldn't make a deal. We overpaid for that. What makes you think that
they would make another deal?
Darsh was saying he wouldn't trade a first-round pick for Panarin. Another team had to give up a third, but he would have given up a first. I don't know. Don't say that he would not make a deal with the Rangers or that the Rangers would not make a deal with him, because it happened 2 weeks ago. Matthew adds, think you're a little harsh on Darsh too early. Okay, maybe so. Maybe so. But you know what? I want everyone who's saying that I'm too early on Darsh, when I'm right, and you know I will be, come back and apologize. Say you were right again. Grumpy old
Here's
man.
my thing. Again, I will just say I'm going to give the guy the benefit of the doubt until he actually doesn't do it. I don't think there's anything wrong in doing that.
Okay.
I'm not going to jump the guy before he's made the mistake.
Now that's just between you and me. Freedom says, Lou was here for what, 8 years, and Bridgeport sucked, lost money annually, players didn't develop, they got humiliated, didn't win. Darsh comes in and in months has them so much improved. Lou is overrated. I don't think Lou is overrated. It was just past his time. Everybody has an amount of time when they can be at their best. 80 years old, 82 years old is not that time. Sorry. And, he's got his wits about him. But, the game just passed him by. It's not a crime. They should have got rid of him years ago.
He aged out.
Yep. Frank from Empire State says, Palat has played great. No, he hasn't. He can't move. And Soucy is 20 times better. The IR
than Mayfield, which I think Mayfield, I think Mayfield's not great.
Mayfield plays on the right side. Soucy plays on the left side. Soucy was so out of position on their third goal yesterday, or fourth goal. So out of position. I'm like, who? I said, where the hell is the defenseman on that? Whoops. There he is, number 4. And it's not Bobby Orr. Carson Soucy was so far out of the action. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Stapled against the boards on your offside. Terrible. Just terrible. Ian Malloy says, maybe now the Islanders can trade up with both first if McKenna falls. All right, X, that's a good question. Would you trade both first-round picks to move up and try to take a shot at Gavin McKenna?
Yeah.
I would too.
I would.
I would too.
Just with how well he's been playing, even for Penn State, how well he's been playing for them, I'd take the flyer on him.
And I think you're seeing his stock is starting to drop.
Yes.
I'm like, you know what? Let's roll the dice. Mm-hmm. If I'm going to roll the dice, that's
imagine he becomes a great player, then you have Schaefer and him.
Why do I feel like the Rangers are going to get him?
Because they probably are.
They're the 4th worst team in the NHL right now.
They're doing what we should have done.
Yeah. They could care less. Yep. We know we suck. Is Drury a great GM? No. But he's doing the right thing. He knows we're not good enough.
If you're not good enough to win the big dance, there's no bother going.
That's, by the way, that's question of the night so far. Ian Malloy, question of the night. Two first to move up for McKenna. I would. Sure. Yep. Freedom Fund events. And we need a lot more. But, I mean, Gigi gave up a 3rd-round pick for Carson Soucy. Freedom says, Panarin is whipped and dominated by his girlfriend and always has been. Oh, my God. Shut it, Grumpy. Darcy's a very good GM. Where's your proof on that, Freedom? Where's your proof? What's the proof that he's a good GM? The Drouin signing? 29 points? Does he even have 29? 24 points, whatever he's got? That's his big signing? I don't know. You tell me. What was his big move to make the team better?
I don't think he's made a big move yet. Putting
Ken Morrow. He didn't even do that. Have him be the guy who watched the ping pong balls fall. I mean,
I'm hoping he makes some moves on the end of the trade deadline. That's what I'm hoping happens. I'm hoping he moves some of the guys for picks.
And not first round picks for washed up guys.
No, I'm hoping we acquire more picks as opposed to acquire more players.
I agree.
So
Thomas Amato says, hey guys, appreciate you running this podcast. Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you.
Matthew Sklar says we have 2 games left with Columbus big games. Yeah. Columbus is good right now. I'm glad we don't play Columbus right away. Gives them a chance to cool. They kill us right now. Kill us. Absolutely destroy us. Give them a chance to cool off and give us a chance to regroup. That's good news for us. For a second I thought we played Columbus tomorrow, and I'm like, ooh, I hope not. Brandon Gaines says, regardless of what they do, you got to clean house with this entire staff. The Dobson trade, the Drouin and Romanoff deals, the Susie and Palat trade, and keeping Roy. You can't sugarcoat this. Objectively, a horrible hire by Islanders ownership. Yeah, the Dobson trade was bad. I mean, Dobson's been really, really good for Montreal, like we knew he would be when he's not shackled with Romanoff. And signing Romanoff to that deal was a total reactionary move to losing Noah Dobson. You didn't need to give him an 8-year deal. Absolutely not. Not necessary at all. Give him a 3-year deal, 2-year deal. You knew you had a boatload of draft picks coming in. You drafted another left shot defenseman. The whole organization is left shot defenseman, and you locked him in on an 8-year deal? Terrible. Drouin's been Susie, terrible. Palat, same thing. He can't skate. He's finished. Patrick Roy is what he is. It's not been a great. He's not been great. The best move he made was swapping out the goalie coach, which absolutely revitalized Sorokin. JP says, I'm starting to get antsy about Darsh and ownership. Grumpy's right. This roster needs to be dismantled. They should have been doing it in bits and pieces every year for the last 3 years.
Okay, but you can't blame the current GM for the mistakes of the previous GM. You can't do that.
No, I'm just saying as a team, that's what they should have been doing.
Yeah, ownership. You can blame ownership for that one. That's an ownership problem.
Okay, but you shouldn't
be
adding
hired the
to
guy
this
who
team.
wasn't doing the right thing, and they didn't cut him loose
Darsh is
earlier.
adding to this team. He's adding to this team.
Again, who hired Darsh? If you're upset about Darsh, who hired Darsh?
Freedom says, Sun X is so wise. Oh boy, this is crazy. Look at this. He has Panarin nailed. Now Grumpy is all about trying to acquire 34-year-old guys and signing them the new deals, even when everyone knows they're selfish players who want money and lifestyle.
This guy might as well be Max Crosby 2.0.
All I'll
That's
say
exactly
is,
who he is.
I'm not saying Panarin is going to be, and I qualified that. He's not going to be there when we're good. But if all he costs you is a third-round draft pick and any one of our prospects, I'd give him Cole Eiserman. They want him. He's a bust. And I mean, because he's going to be better than anything that we have in our system in the next 2 years.
I'm going to say I wouldn't want to trade for a guy like that. He seems like he could potentially be a cancer for a locker room.
Okay, well,
he's a guy who doesn't care about winning. It's very obvious he doesn't. He doesn't care. He wants to live his lifestyle that he wants. It's not somebody I want to trade for.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, that's not somebody.
Like I said, he'd help your team now and in the next 2 years.
But he could also cause irreversible damage to certain players on your team that have a good mindset currently, who are young, who can rub off.
I've never heard he's a locker room cancer.
If the guy doesn't care about winning and they wanted to get
rid of our whole team doesn't give a shit about winning. Our whole team doesn't care about winning. The captain says he doesn't even care about winning. Oh, we put ourselves in position to make acquisitions.
Didn't you just say earlier that they had to get rid of him because that would be a bad situation if the team came back from international break?
Yeah, but what I said was Panarin for a third-round pick? For a third-round pick?
The fact that you just said that it'd be a bad situation if the team came back from international break and he was still there tells me that he is an issue.
No, because they wanted to get rid of him. That's why they wanted to move him. They couldn't keep him playing. That's why they sat him, because they didn't want him to be playing to risk him getting injured, because they wanted to manufacture a deal. They knew they were getting rid of him. They mentioned it in January that they were absolutely moving him. They didn't want him to get injured. They didn't want it to drag out. Charles Dittmer says, Grumpy, do you think the old man is still running things? No, it's just the young, bold, and dumb guy as opposed to the old, bold, and dumb guy. No difference. Brandon Gaines says, you could have stayed competitive by doing all the opposite of what was said and been battling for the top spot in the Metro. You're not battling for the top spot in the Metro. No. Carolina.
Not this year. Carolina's got that on lock.
Yeah.
On lock. They ain't giving that up.
I mean, honestly, Sorokin,
Carolina is good.
They showed the numbers on TNT last night where Sorokin is number one in all those other categories, including stolen points, like 12 points. Think about it. 12. That's how good he's been. Frank from Empire State says, we really got to be smart. Darsh is doing great. He's keeping up us in it. If we make a round, we make a few million, we're building for the future. That's the only way this can work.
A few million for what?
What do you build? What future are you building? You just took away some of your future by moving.
This is supposed to be a generational draft that's coming up.
What do you build? What have they done to build for the future? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
They've acquired guys who won't be there for the future.
That's right. Palat, so you're going to have a guy who's 36 next year, making $6 million per. How is that helping us for the future? He can't skate anymore. He cannot skate anymore. It's like having an anchor on whatever line he's on. You can't put him with Lee and make him look faster, but that you can't have two guys who, do the 100-yard dash in 4 minutes. Can't have that. Terrible. Next. Declan says, what has to be blown up about this roster? I can understand wanting Pajot to move, but this is a team is solid and there's nothing to blow up. Don't be ridiculous. Who's worth keeping? I guess is my point. Who would you say is, boy,
4 guys on the team?
How many difference makers are on this team?
4. 4 guys.
4.
Yes.
And one less than the others. Sorokin, Schaefer, Barzell, Horvat. No difference makers on the team.
4 guys that are worth keeping.
Any team NHL is what they are. You could put anybody on this team, swap them out with anybody else of similar ilk on any other team, and you get the same results. We have 4 guys, in my opinion, who are untouchable. 4. Sorokin, Schaefer, Barzell, Horvat. Horvat and Barzell because you really can't move them for anything. They got too much time on their contracts. But Schaefer is like, if you put a gun to my head, who's the only guy who's untouchable? It's Schaefer. Sorokin's in his 30s now. You give me the right deal, I move him. A couple of number ones, a couple of prospects. Why not? Why not? I would. Expedite the rebuild. Gugun says, is Duclair back in Waz's doghouse? Yup. Did Dog Z ever kill a mouse? He's a weenie. If he saw a mouse, he'd go running the other way. He'd run up on the furniture. And, Duclair in doghouse again. I don't know. Leads the league in benches. Fleet Dream says, you watch Grump. When the Olympics are over, the trade deadline, you'll see how well Lee, Pajot, and D'Angelo play so they won't be traded. I just don't think he's making a trade, period. I've always said the Islanders usually play extremely well the first, a couple of weeks before the deadline, so they give the team false hope to keep everybody together. That's what they play for, is to stay together. They've done that for years. Then they go right back in the tank.
It's ridiculous.
Thomas Tomato says, thoughts on Trotz stepping down in Nashville? You could say he really failed in Nashville, right? He went the old guy route, and that failed miserably for them. Miserably. Trading first-round draft picks, trading the goalie Ashkov to San Jose. Terrible. Signings, all guys over 30. Bad news. Thomas Mayer says, Pittsburgh hit pay dirt on their first round of this year as an everyday player. They got lucky. Yeah, Ben Kindle's been really, really good. Really good. And Chinnikov's been fantastic too. They made the right moves. They saw and now they're going to actually compete. And here's the thing, they don't have a goalie, so it doesn't matter. They don't have a goalie, so they're going nowhere. But other than that, they got a lot of pieces. You're still getting big production out of Crosby, and Malkin's been great, and Letang. But you're going to lose those guys in the next few years, and they've done a nice job building up around them with younger players. Cannot argue with what they've done. Washington did the same thing 3 years ago. Same exact thing. They went through the same thing that the Islanders should have done. The same thing that Pittsburgh has done. They kind of rebuilt on the fly a little bit. But they had better players at the top of their roster. So it was easier for them. The Islanders don't have that. They don't have an Ovechkin. They don't have a Crosby. They don't have a Malkin.
They have the ability to have an Ovechkin, Crosby, and Malkin with Schaefer, though.
But as your veterans is what I'm saying.
Oh, sure. No. I mean, I think Barzal's serviceable, but he's not one of those guys.
No, he's not.
He's not to that level. No.
Frank from Empire State X, you're painful at times too, LOL. Yeah, okay, grumpy old man. You're giving him 1 year. How generous of you. How long do you think you should get? 10 years? It's a win now business, my man. Sorry, my friend. Matthew Sklar says, I'm not ready to trash Darsh so quickly. He missed on Drouin and gave Romanov that deal. Well, there's two swings. But those were bad, but not enough for me to run out of town that quickly. He's not going anywhere. GMs get at least 3 years. You never see a GM get fired after a year or two. Never. Never, ever.
Well, it's different in different sports. I'll say that.
Yeah. But general managers, they stick around longer than managers and coaches. That's for certain.
Yeah.
JP says, they want to be able to win a cup when Schaefer is 23, 24, 25, and 26. Most of these players on this current roster are retired. Exactly.
Yep.
That's why they're unimportant.
That's why I'm saying it's so short-sighted to think, hey, let's just keep these guys to make the playoffs or barely squeak in the playoffs or barely miss the playoffs.
Doesn't matter.
Then it's a real mess up if you barely miss the playoffs. Then you're really hurting yourself.
They are not going to be with this organization.
Yep.
When the Islanders are good enough or hopefully good enough to compete.
Correct.
They're just not. Matthew also adds, word is the guy was heckling McKenna's mom, and that's why McKenna got into a fight. Not sure how true that is. Yeah, we have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. Hockey Guy says, when Drouin gets sat by Waugh for basically the entire game, why can't Waugh do the same with Drouin? And I think they like Drouin. I mean, Darsh, that was his big signing. And I think and I know that Drouin's a francophone, but I just think that Waugh and Darsh really like Drouin for whatever reason. Drouin's good when he's playing with guys like McKinnon, but you send him to a team that doesn't have a super talented player for him to, live off of, and he is what he is. It's always been that. I remember the Sergachev. Boy, talk about Tampa. Tampa just knows what they're doing. Sergachev for Drouin. How'd that work out? Thomas Amato says, OTLs this year have shifted. We've been winning games we lost last year. Those points add up. Compare last year's stats with this year's. Puck is bouncing our way. That's it. We just got some.
And puck is absolutely bouncing our way. Lucky bounces.
And our goaltending has been superior.
Yep.
Superior. And Schaefer. Freedom Fund Adventure goes, Grumpy, you have impossible standards that you failed to hold yourself to. Darsh on job for months. He has done so much good on and off the ice, player acquisition and prospect pool development.
I can't comment about how Bridgeport's playing. I don't really watch them.
They suck.
So
they suck again. Oh no, we suck again. They suck. Are they as bad as last year? It was impossible to be as bad.
Yeah, they were. I think they were like historically the worst team ever.
The worst
right?
team ever.
Yeah.
So that's
you can only go up from the worst, right? Unless you top the worst and lose more games.
And let's see what happens. I don't blame him for Yzerman because that's Lamoriello. But Yzerman's a bust. He's a bust. Absolutely a bust. We'll see with Aitchison and Eklund. Hopefully Prokhorov does something. I mean, there's hope, but I was unimpressed in the World Juniors with Aitchison. Disappointed. I would say disappointed. I was also disappointed in Aitchison in preseason. He looked small and just didn't know what to do. Same thing I saw him. He's got to get that Romanov out of his game. Got to get scrub the Romanov out of him, and maybe he can be serviceable. That's all. Right now, he doesn't even have a spot on the roster. Where's he going to play?
Well, this was just in. It says, congrats to Keishon Aitchison. Says the gates were open for Keishon Aitchison in January because he won the Defensive Player of the Month or Defenseman of the Month in the OHL. So that's good news, at least about him.
And he's great. He's a man among boys in the OHL. He was last year.
Playing against the bigger guys. Yeah.
I don't know why he went back to the OHL. He had nothing to prove there. Nothing. He should have went to college.
Comfortable, maybe.
Okay.
Safe.
Is that what you want?
No, but I'm just saying, you asked me why he decided to go back there. Comfortable. He's familiar with it. And two, it's the safe bet. Oh, I can look really, really good playing against lesser talent, or I can move up to the next level, play against better talent, and not look so great.
Okay. Matthew Sklar says, break will help the Islanders. Absolutely. They've played more games than most. Can't practice till the 16th, I think. Yeah. Well, it gives the guy some rest, though, and they need it. They absolutely need it. Freedom says, I'm old enough to remember two bald-headed jerks constantly asking the question, who would you rather be, the Islanders or the Rangers? I think actually that was TJ. But I said I would be the Rangers. And for years, always picking the Rangers. Well, how wrong were you two jerks? I'd still rather be the Rangers. I'd still rather be the Rangers. At least they have a direction.
Nah, they don't have Sorokin. Or not
Is
Sorokin.
the
They don't have Shave Daddy. They don't
What
have
do they
Shave
call
Daddy.
it? What do they call us? X when you're swimming?
It's treading water.
Doggy paddle.
Oh, okay.
Just keeping your head above water. That's
treading
enough.
water.
That's it. Declan say, who would you rather? Should they trade away everyone and just keep picking draftees? No, you can't move everyone. But there's absolutely guys you should move. Anybody on an expiring deal should be dealt. Anyone on an expiring deal should be dealt. Let me repeat it one more time. Anyone on an expiring deal should be dealt. 36-year-old Anders Lee. 33-year-old J.G. Pajot. Tony D'Angelo, 32 years old. Guess what? You can sign them back to one-year deals if you feel like you need to bring them back. Why not get an asset and that they're so loyal to the franchise?
Right.
Oh, we love the Islanders. Love them. They're great. Yeah, okay. That's fantastic.
Prove it. Prove
That's
it.
right.
Prove it.
Move you and we'll sign you to one-year
I'm
deal.
sick and tired of us getting raked over the coals because we, have to feel this like slavish devotion to these players all the time. And we end up getting shafted as a franchise all the time by these players. Make those players prove how much they want to be here.
Yeah.
Make them prove how much they want to be here.
Because
you
you know
want
what
to be here
they're-
so
you know what
bad,
they
show
do?
us.
They'll do the same thing that Zach Parise did. I don't want to play anywhere but the Islanders. Well, he went to Colorado. That's fine. That's his prerogative. John Tavares. Oh no, I want to stay with the Islanders. Oh,
That
okay,
worked
we
out
won't
well.
move you. You don't want to be moved, we won't move you. And then he goes to Toronto. I mean, here's the thing. It's a business. It's a business.
Yeah, there's no friendship in this. It's a job.
You're trying to put a winning team on the ice, not just somebody who, they're good in the community. They've been with the team 15 years. They never won anything. How about rewarding the fans? Maybe that's what you should be looking out for, the fans. How about that? Frank from Empire State says, hey, X, the real world works on making money, not mooching off your mom and dad. So, yeah, the Islanders want to make the playoffs because they need the money. Grumpy old man can help with the money than the cause of you. Them cause of you.
I don't know what the end says there, but yeah, I guess as a fan, are you happy that they're putting, their financial benefit over, long-term success for the team? That's how you have to look at it.
These guys are billionaires. I don't give two shits about what I don't care. I could care less about them spending money. If you don't want to spend money, don't buy a sports team. Don't buy a sports team. It's not a mom and pop operation.
They look at it as an investment where they can just
if you're looking for investment,
money on.
Don't buy a sports team.
Yep.
Unless
the successful ones usually don't make money to begin with.
Unless it's an NFL team. They all make money.
Yeah.
But NHL team? Absolutely not. Don't cry. I don't cry to me about the owners. They're billionaires. They're billionaires. They're what, 2 home dates? Oh, that's gonna change the direction of the organization? It's not. Put a winning team on the ice. How about building for the future? Get more guys like Matthew Schaefer on your team. That'll put money in. How many times last year was it empty? The arena was 3/4 empty every night.
It's selling out now, though, because of 48.
That's right. You get 48 out there, people show up.
Yep.
Well, you know what? Get more of those guys. You want to earn money? Get guys like that. That'll
Get
put
McKenna
back in seats.
Get McKenna.
Gungun says, a rarity, a hockey player in trouble with the law. Does McKenna have a mental flaw? I don't know, but if he continues to drop.
It's great. Honestly,
maybe
the good thing is, too, even if he's not the best player, he doesn't pan out, he'll at least fight.
Yeah,
So
there you go,
he
X.
put butts in seats by fighting.
And you know what?
I mean, you got to look at it like that. Fighting sells.
Just say, you know what he said when that guy said something to him about his mom? Don't just be talking about my mama.
Yeah, that's
Doesn't
what I'm
matter.
saying. Get him as a fighter.
What movie was that from, X?
Little Giants.
Little Giants. Drew says, Danil Prokhorov has been lighting it up, whatever Russian league he's in like the last 15 games or so. Yeah, he's in I guess if the NHL, you have the KHL, which is the top one, the MHL, which is next, and then the VHL is where he is. So he's a couple leagues down. The Islanders need to get him over to the United States. That's what they need to do.
And yes, here it is. Thank you for sending this in, Drew. It says 2025 second round pick Danil Prokhorov earns VHL Rookie of the Month honors after tallying 7 goals, 6 assists, and 13 points total in 10 games played, including 2 Hatties.
He's a guy that I want to see how he performs in the United States or North America. He's a guy because, I mean, he's physical. He's a big kid. Like I said, he's in like a really – that's a low. It's not even EHL quality, I don't think, the VHL. So, but I want to see him in North America. I wish he could have played this year on a junior team and see how he performed. Freedom says, Warden approved purchase. I want to see the time-lapse video of TJ shoveling the dirt. My guess is he tried it for 20 minutes and then the excuse machine comes out. Now, let me tell you something about TJ. He works like a dog. He absolutely right.
He overestimates what he's actually capable of.
He doesn't think he's possible for him to fail.
Yeah, it would be like him strapping up to skate blades and saying, yeah, I could go out on the ice today and be like Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby, Bobby Orr combined.
Yep.
And it's like it's not happening.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he overestimates what he's capable of, but he does work hard.
There's no quitting him.
There is no quit.
No quit. No quit.
Yeah.
No
Unlike
quit.
Panarin, there is no
I remember
quit.
watching a football game. I think it was his last high school game where his quarterback threw an interception and, you know, the guy was going to score and there were only 2 kids who ran that guy down to the end. Now he scored, but who chased him all the way, did not pull up. It was a young man named Zach Levins. His dad was a high-ranking police official, and TJ. And everybody else, including the running backs, the wide receiver, they all just kind of loafed and floated
Funny
back.
enough, what position did they play too?
Offensive line.
There you go.
Offensive lineman. You know what? No quitting those guys. And you know what? When you're recruiting people to do anything, that's the type of thing you want to see. That's the type of you learn a lot about a person in situations like, because there was no freaking way they were catching that defensive back. But the fact that they did all the way to the end zone, chased them all the way to the end zone, you don't see that from everybody. That tells you something about the person. Really does. Next, please. Oh, here we go. Sorry. Frank from up here says, F that we need the playoffs and excitement. If we traded Liam Pajot, we could go even farther, believe it or not. Richie is developing into a stud. Miss him. Yeah. So what are they doing with Richie, right? He don't even play anymore. Why
not?
Why
not?
I mean, what did I say they should have done with Richie X? What did I say the optimal thing?
They should have kept him down in Bridgeport and had him play every single situation. Yeah, because you're wasting him on the bench. Nobody gets better not playing. Nobody develops not playing. Put him in the situation where he can play the most and he can develop the most.
That's why you move a Pajot, you slide him in. Right now, him sitting on his butt ain't helping anybody. It's bad management. That's bad management. Darsh. Bad management. Darsh. Another fail by Darsh. SSE says, how is selling right now going to go over with Matthew and any potential UFA? We don't have any UFAs on this team. Matthew Schaefer's under team control till he's 26, 7 years? So whatever.
I think if you approached him and told him what your end goal was, I think any logical person would be fine with that.
Yeah.
Hey, you see it out there. Our team's not good enough to win right now. We're going to try and put the best team around you possible in the next 3 or 4 years.
Here's something you could do. Take the guys who are part of the future, bring them all in a room and talk to them. Guys, this is what we want.
Yep. We just need you to buy in.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Next couple of years, we're going to keep some guys around for continuity, but we're looking to retool the majority of this roster who are not going to be here in the next 3, 4, 5 years. They're not.
Who was it? Didn't the Blackhawks or what team was it that came out and talked to the fans and said, "Hey, it's going to be some tough times ahead. We're in the process of a rebuild, but we promise we'll get there."
That was the Rangers.
The Rangers. But still, I mean, the Rangers are in the right direction. They still get fans to come out to the games. They still have fan support.
Chicago has done a rebuild on top of a rebuild.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
They dumped Dylan Strome, which I thought was dumb, and it wound up being dumb for them because he's been a good player for Washington. But I mean, at some point in time, you're going to have to look at it objectively and say, this is not working.
Not working. Agreed.
Frank from Empire State says, got to trade Mayfield too. Susie is miles better. No, he's not. Now, here's the thing. Can they trade Mayfield? I don't know. What's he got, 4 years left on his deal? Tough to move a guy who's a bottom-pairing defenseman who's got 4 years left on his deal. Susie sucks. He sucks. And he's gone at the end of the year. They will not bring him back. Absolutely not. Palat will be here 1 year and then he'll be gone. Him and his $6 million will be gone. Next, please, Mr. X. Freedom says, as a former goalie, I just represent the goalie union and say how exhausting it is playing behind a horrible defense. It's mentally and physically exhausting to need to be that alert. Absolutely. That's why these guys are not going to, Sorokin's not going to have a .930 save percentage the whole year. He's just not. And you've seen he's kind of cooled off a little bit. Riddick is absolutely cooled off.
But that's to be expected. I mean, he's a backup
now
goalie.
they get a chance to re-energize, which is good news for the Islanders. Really good news. If they come out of the break winning 4 or 5 games, then they're back in control, right?
Yep.
JP says, I just agree, Grumpy. Marchman is 30 years old. Okay, 30 years old. I thought he was. Why was I thinking he was younger? My bad. The Islanders don't need to be getting rid of picks for him either. Okay, I thought he was young. I thought. Then you're right, JP. Yeah, he's too old. Too old to be moving a bunch of picks for that guy. Matthew Scarf says, Matt Coronado was the guy I'd be interested in, but I don't think Calgary would part with him. Well, that's the whole thing. You got to have a guy who's willing to deal and not, right? Hockey Guy says, how about trading for Jaden Swartz? How old is Swartz? I always said, X, when TJ was on the show, if you're 30 years old or older, I'm not interested in you. Just not. Not for this team. Absolutely not. Next, Declan says, and I realize I said I'd take Panarin on a 2-year deal. He's a special talent, though, right? Declan says, pull a Penguins and just mess with the bottom 6, find some misfits, and turn Liam Pajot into futures. Yeah, why not? Why not? What's the difference? Doesn't matter. Jeremy Ford Avon says, Green Tree reminds me of Michael Del Cole. Yeah, what's the one thing Michael Del Cole couldn't do?
Jaden Schwartz is 33, by the way.
Okay, yeah, so no for Jaden Schwartz. Do you know who Michael Del Cole is, X?
Sounds super, super familiar.
Okay, he was the number 5 pick for the Islanders overall, 5th overall in the draft.
Sounds familiar.
That was a 4-player draft. Leon Draisaitl, Aaron Ekblad, Sam Reinhart, Sam Bennett, I believe. And then Michael Del Cole was 5th. And the one thing he couldn't do is skate. So
I was going to say anything else that the others could.
Skate. That was it. Skating was his big no-no. Freedom says, threading the needle, you sell the guys we know they should sell and acquire younger guys and picks. That's retool. And if competitive, great. Darsh mentioned not acquiring guys over 27 for his real assets. Is 27 even too old, I wonder? I don't know. But you're right. That's what Washington did.
31, 32 by the time you get the rebuild done. So yeah, about 4 to 5 years.
Matthew I says Susie is a nothing trade and doesn't nearly compare to Panarin. That's the whole thing. You gave up a third for Susie, who's terrible. We're a third for Panarin. Even for me, it makes sense. Freedom says, I'm with you, Grumpy. I can't get excited about Thomas. And that's a me thing, though. That's a me thing about Robert Thomas. I know he's pretty good, but I just can't. Maybe it's just the name. I don't know. Just can't warm up to him. I don't know why. When the Columbus and Montreal offers for Dobson were leaked before the deal was finalized, Voronkov from the Blue Jackets was named. They should engage in those talking. Voronkov, whatever his name is. Absolutely, that's a guy the Islanders should be interested in. He's a big guy, net front presence, can skate okay.
Vakanov? Is that what you're trying to pronounce? Vakanov?
Vakanov, yeah. I thought there was an R in there. Vakanov.
Well, just based on
is he the greatest player ever? But no, but I'll tell you what, he is more of an offensive player than Henneman is.
And Robert Thomas this year has 33 points in 42 games. He's got 11 goals and 22 assists. So he's playing pretty well.
Okay. You want to give up a couple of first-round picks for him?
I probably wouldn't do a first-round pick.
Okay, but what do you think? What do you think? He's probably like one of their better players. You think they're just going to give him up?
No, I don't think they'll just give him up.
Yeah,
No.
I mean that's the whole thing.
I would probably, if it was up to me and it was a possibility, I'd do the 2 first for McKenna.
Yeah, I'd move up 2 first to move up in that first round. Absolutely, that's a roll of the dice. That's a roll for greatness. It just is. Frank from Empire. Oh, he's yelling again. Frank from Empire State says, X-Men, you're learning hockey. Darts has completely turned around a franchise, including Bridgeport, and all aspects of the teams.
Yeah, I can't comment about Bridgeport. I do not watch Bridgeport. So
I'd be interested. X, we got to go to some.
We do need to go to some Bridgeport games when they come to play the Charlotte Checkers. That stadium is amazing, by the way.
It is. It's a small. It's like it's been here since what, the 60s.
Yeah, but it's great. There's not a bad seat in that stadium. It's fantastic.
Zeppelin played there. Elvis played there.
I know they previously had a little stint where they played the games at the Spectrum Center, and that was terrible because you couldn't see anything. And they ended up switching back to Bojangles Coliseum. It was phenomenal.
I love that arena. It's old. It's how many seats are there in there, X? Do you know?
Probably 6,000, 7,000 seats. That's about it.
Great. It's great.
Maybe eight.
No, I don't even think it's 8. Maybe you can look that up, the size of that for hockey. But I mean, that's just, for me, it's just fantastic to watch a hockey game. There's not a bad seat. I mean, I remember when I went there, I haven't been there. Like I said, I only go there if Bridgeport's playing there. Otherwise, I'm not going to those games. But you get to see how bad the Islander prospects were when I went last time. Alexander.
10,829 seats.
Wow, that many. Okay. Wow. Okay. Remember we saw a wrestling event there?
We did. I do remember that.
Batista against The Undertaker?
Yep.
That was the main event, as I remember, X.
Yep.
Good evening, gents. I don't know about McKenna because he sounds like a head case.
I'm taking a flyer on that kid. I don't care.
Yeah, talent wins out, right?
Yep.
Declan says, did anyone else notice the shift that almost resulted in a goal where Susie dumped it and lazily chased his own dump, but someone was already there? He was the last one on the back check. He is what he is. He's not very good. Alexander's taking the mushrooms today.
You know what? No, he's not taking the mushrooms. I will agree. The team is fun to watch. Like when they score, and I mean when Schaefer scores, I mean the crowd's electric. I will agree with you on that. They're a fun team to watch. Are they good? No, but they're a fun team to watch. Yes.
Okay. Do you think night after night they're a fun team to watch? Let's say if Schaefer,
not night after night, not when they're getting killed. No,
they're not a fun team to watch.
Okay.
They're not a fun team to watch.
What team is fun to watch night after night?
Okay. The only time for me that they're fun to watch is when Schaefer has the puck.
Sure.
That's
okay,
it.
but he's part of the team, is he not?
Okay, but
he's part of the team, is he not?
It's hard to watch them slog through games and get dominated night after night, hoping that Matthew Schaefer has moments of individual brilliance. It's hard. And he skated through the whole Pittsburgh defense yesterday, too.
He did.
He
absolutely did. He absolutely did.
When wait till he's a couple of years older, 21 years old, when he's he's still a boy. Wait till he's got a little bit of man size to him. Just wait.
A little bit of what? Man size?
Man is man size.
Man size.
Craig, the regular human bartender, says, Barzell, Sorokin, Horvat, Schaefer, playing out of their minds. You don't squander that. We could be the Rangers if we trade Lee and Pajot with our current position. You just think we should go belly up? Okay. Has Anders Lee done anything this year? No. Pajot's been pretty good, but you got Callum Ritchie to take that spot.
Yep.
That's why you traded for him, to take that spot.
Yep.
I mean, I realize Barzell is playing a wing now to Horvat's center, which opens up a spot as a center. But I have no qualms at all moving Pajot and Lee.
But I guess here's the thing, Grumpy. Do you see this team success continuing?
I mean, they're winning games
based on what?
Based on
what?
Bounces,
lucky bounces, and defensive mistakes. Lack of,
or poor goaltending from the other team.
Yes, I consider that defensive mistakes. But yeah, defensive mistakes and poor goaltending. That's how they're winning games. That's how they're scoring a majority of their goals.
They could make the playoffs this year.
You would be making the playoffs off the back of other teams errors.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
be honest.
Okay,
It's not
but
like
they're
your
not-
team. It's not like your team is pinging passes to each other, connecting really well, having one-time goals. Having a guy who's stick handling through the whole defense and just undressing a goalie. It's not like that. Those are the goals you're scoring. You're scoring lucky goals.
Yeah.
That's not conducive long term.
Right. It's not a way to build success. Oh
No.
boy, that's something we can continue to get. Yeah, no. Tim McCall says, send Pajot back to Ottawa. Why
Bye,
not?
buddy.
He'd love to go there. Alexander says, how often do third round picks actually pan out? Let me help. 5%. Okay. It's not about a third round pick panning out. Now, Sorokin was a third round pick. Adam Pelech, third round pick. Anders Lee, sixth round pick. I mean, so it's not like it doesn't happen. But what can you do with third round picks? Let's say
Trade it
you want
away.
to move up in the draft. Let's say, hey, I'd like to move up in the second round from 15 to pick 5. I'll throw you a third. And then you target a guy who fell out of the first round that you really liked. That's why you get extra picks. They're value, they're assets. They're trade assets.
They're trade bait.
To maneuver up and down the draft board. That's what you use them for. Jeremy Ford Alvin says, if a team offered something considerable for Pelech, would you make the move? Absolutely. And you'd have to get a first round pick for him, not just giving away. He's had a bounce back season this year for the most part, but his skating is nowhere near what it was a couple of years ago. Freedom Fundamental says, Grumpy, you are the man who pounded into everyone's brains that you don't trade for or sign guys approaching 30, hard pass on Panarin. The Islanders have enough guys that winning isn't everything. True, and more true. I said that. For Panarin, 2 years, $11 million, and a third round pick. That's that will put fannies in seats for 2 years while your team is rebuilding. A third round pick for Artemi Panarin. You're trying to tell me you wouldn't do that? I absolutely would. And 2 years? That's a 2-year investment. No big contracts are coming up till Schaefer's deal. That's after 2 years. Then he can go his way. And maybe we wind up making the playoffs even with him. I mean, like I said, it's so cheap that you have to say yes. Tim McCall says Drouin is the biggest clown to ever put on an Islanders jersey. I don't know about that.
Let me ask. Sorry.
He can't score. That's true. He is not looking good. It's time to cut him loose. They're not cutting him loose.
Let me ask this question real quick.
Yeah.
Do you think that the Rangers still would have accepted a third round pick trade from us, a rival?
Maybe, probably not.
That's my point. If you're going to have to pay more for him, is he really worth it? Because I don't think we're getting the same deal that LA got.
Yeah, I wouldn't even have a first round for him.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though. I don't think we're getting the same deal LA's getting.
Gave up a third rounder for Carson Sousa.
I'm aware. I think if it was a third round pick, sure, pick him up, even though I don't like his attitude and I don't like his mindset of, not being a winner.
He doesn't have a dog in him on the ice, though. He absolutely does not.
Okay, but I'm just saying his mindset about not caring about.
A joke. For me, it was mostly a joke, me bagging on him about not wanting to be a winner because, he wants to just be.
Well, I mean, you think of it as a joke, but it's very obvious that he's putting his, living arrangement over winning a cup. That's very obvious, seeing as he turned down Carolina. But again, I'd take a flyer on him for a third round pick. But if it's anything more than that, like if it's a first round pick, no, I'm not doing that.
No, I agree. I agree with you there.
Actually. And, I don't think the Rangers would have given him up to us for a third round pick. I think we would have to pay top dollar.
I agree with that also. I do. Alexander says, and if you're in your playoff contention, you're not going to waste that opportunity. That's just dumb. Are they really in? Okay, they're in playoff contention. They're 2 points ahead of Columbus, who has a game in hand.
Congratulations. You are the Pittsburgh Steelers of the NHL. You made the playoffs and get eliminated in the first round.
Every year, 7 years in a row.
Great. We made the playoffs, though.
How many years can you watch that? Oh, yeah, that's right. We don't even make the playoffs every year. Sorry, Alexander. Sorry. Okay. Hockey Guy says, Drouin is Andrew Ladd 2.0. That is not fair. At least Drouin can put the skates on and be on the ice. That was not the case with Andrew Ladd. We wound up having to trade 2 seconds and a third to get rid of Andrew Ladd. Drew says, yeah, I didn't want Panarin either. But even still, the Rangers only getting a third round pick and a projected top 9 forward is hilarious. Yeah, they're between a rock and a hard place. Tim McCall says, what do you think of Palat's first game as an Islander when he scored a goal and assist against the Rangers last week?
Rangers are awful.
Okay, here's the one thing that Palat does have. And I like Palat. He just can't play hockey anymore. Can't skate. He can't skate anymore. He has hockey sense. And playing for those Tampa Bay teams, he knows what it's like to be a winner. But he can't play anymore. Can't skate. How's he been since then? Kind of invisible, right?
The Rangers are terrible too.
Yeah. But that, I mean, I like Andre Palat. I've always liked him. I mean, Jersey wildly overpaid for him with term and money at the time, and he was not worth it. He's even worth less now. Alexander says, wait, so we are going off Drouin signing and the Dobson trade by judging Darsh? Come on, really? Shake my head. Well, that's the moves he's made, right? And the Romanov signing, which was hideous.
Agreed.
Which was probably the worst move of all.
Agreed.
Because you tied yourself to that piece of garbage for another 8
years.
Craig, the regular humor bartender, says the only knock on Darsh is the Romanov deal. Not one person thought Sorokin and Schaefer would carry this team this year. Let's burn it down just to become the Rangers.
Yeah, I didn't expect them to be as good as they were this year. I didn't expect Schaefer to be as good as he was this year.
No, I didn't either. I didn't think
Sorokin has absolutely stepped his game up this year too with the new goalie coach.
I'm on record saying Schaefer should have not went back to junior, but play college.
But I mean, think about if Schaefer isn't as good as he is, and if Sorokin isn't playing out of his mind every night.
We are the Rangers.
This team's awful.
Yeah, awful.
Or imagine Schaefer's down in, going back to college, right? You're going to play in college.
Yeah.
The same thing.
Freedom Front Red says, not Schaefer, but McKenna is facing up to 20 years plus. He also isn't as dominating as hoped, so I would not trade 2 picks to draft him. Okay, what I'm saying is if you have a pick that's 16 and 32, you would move into the top 10 to pick him? I would. Alexander says, with all due respect, I'm glad we didn't trade for Panarin. Okay. And there's Alexander. He's getting angry now. Grump, no thank you for Panarin. What makes you think that Drury would have asked the same price? Maybe he would.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I don't think we would be getting him for
I'm saying was he had got a 3rd round pick for him and a middling prospect. That's what they got for him. He's better than that. We traded a 3rd round pick for Carson frickin' Soucy. Ponyboy Curtis says, personally, I would much rather see Schaefer get 6 to 12 games, 6 to 12 of solid playoff experience than get a 3rd round pick for Lee. Yeah, not me. Maybe we should have sent him to the Olympics.
He wasn't picked for the Olympic
team. Let him play in the Olympics.
Wasn't picked. He wasn't selected.
What's the difference, right?
Selected.
Islander fans are petrified for him to go over play in the Olympics. He might get injured.
Well, I was on board with that in a game that really doesn't mean anything.
I'd much rather have him play with the best players in the world and learn from them than this, bag of hammers that we got playing on our team.
Bag of misfits is what you were.
Yeah, whatever. Freedom says, Grumpy, our whole team doesn't care about winning, but wants to add another. Keep making Sunex look like the smart one.
Whoa. That one had to be comment of the night right there. Sunex is a smart one. Comment of the night.
I just said, no one can ever question. Do you ever question Panarin's hustle and determination on the ice ever? The answer is no. I'll answer it for you. The answer is no. What I'm saying is for 2 years, like I had no problem with the Drouin signing. It's 2 years.
He is Max Crosby 2.0. That is exactly who he is. Nobody questions Max Crosby's hustle or his ability to play when he plays the game. But that said, he would rather stay in Las Vegas, a loser, than go somewhere where he has a possibility to play in the playoffs. And
he supposedly wants to get trades. He's asking for a trade.
Okay, sure. Okay.
Just saying.
All right. He said that the last time, and then they paid him more money, and he's decided to stay. He wants more money.
Okay, that's fine. NFL is also it's a shorter career span than NHL guys.
No, I get that, but they also get paid like 4 times the amount that NHL players get.
Ponyboy Curtis says, Grumpy, do you think Engvall at this point, if healthy, would be an improvement over Drouin? What's the difference? They're both they're the same guy, and what I mean by that is they're a middle 6 player, bottom 6 players who it doesn't matter if they're here or not. The league is filled with those guys. We have an extraordinary amount of those guys. It doesn't matter. But the biggest thing is Patrick Waugh likes Jonathan Drouin and does not like Pierre Engvall. Drouin is more talented offensively than Engvall. The thing I've been an Engvall ripper, particularly when he was traded here. But last year, I thought that he absolutely went out of his way to do things that were not in his game to please Patrick Waugh. And how did Patrick Waugh treat him? By making him a healthy scratch. I thought that was horseshit. He went into the corners, which he never did before. He was aggressive on the forecheck, which he's never done before. He did that for Patrick Waugh. And how does Waugh reward him? Benching him, sitting him down, making him a healthy scratch.
See if he does it again.
He's another guy who's got 1 billion years left on his contract. Immovable because of the old GM signing a fourth liner to a 7-year contract extension.
That's ownership.
No, that's a GM.
How long was he there? How long was he messing up, and how long was he there for before they cut ties with him?
18 games. He was at 18 games, and he played okay with Brock Nelson.
How long was Lou there? Both, like when Lou was sucking as a GM, how long had he worn out his welcome before it took them the time to actually get rid of him?
I think 7 years.
So 7 years of sucking they had before they finally got rid of him. That's on ownership. That is on ownership. It took you 7 years to realize that he was a problem.
But GMs do not get moved like that.
Yeah, but they don't stay there for 7 years if they continue to have no success.
Okay.
4 years, you're gone.
Okay. Lou Lamoriello was like a Hall of Fame general manager.
I don't care. I don't care.
But I'm just telling you.
It'd be like in the NFL them bringing back Bill Parcells. How good of a coach do you think Bill Parcells would be nowadays?
Well, no, not anymore. Yeah, sure, but
that's what I'm saying. That's great. 40 years ago you were a great coach or great GM.
But they did make the playoffs for the first time. Like I think 2016, they made the playoffs. How many times? They got to the Eastern Conference Finals twice. I mean, the biggest thing you say about Lamoriello is he didn't have the balls to go all in when he had the opportunity. That's what I'm saying.
Is after those playoff runs, how many years was it of
3 years.
Drought?
3.
Boom. Third year, goodbye.
Well, that's what happens. Third year after that, he was gone. Tim McCall says the Hurricanes are a country club. They're not trying hard enough to win the Stanley Cup, especially when it comes to the conference finals. Canes are 2-16 in the Eastern Conference Finals since they last won the Cup in 2006. That is true.
They lack goaltending.
That's right. They don't have – and here's the thing. When they got swept by Florida, I think they were 4 one-goal games 2 years ago. They don't have the goaltender. They don't.
Yep.
And I also don't think that they have the big marquee guy. They traded for Gensel one year. He didn't resign. They lowballed him because that's the thing. Their owner likes to lowball guys. Rantanen didn't really work out. They wound up moving him before the end of the season. And I'm not going to be surprised if they make another roll. It's a chance at somebody because they're in it to win it now. They still need a goaltender, and that's going to stop them from winning a Stanley Cup. They don't have a goaltender, period. But you can't say that they're a country club team. They're not. They just need a goaltender. But they need a goaltender, and they need a marquee guy. I think that puts them over the top. Defensively, they're one of the best teams in the league. Declan says, long-term, I agree, move guys out, a lot of the old guys, but I'm talking about this season specifically. You don't have to move anyone right now. Okay, you have to move whoever's on an expiring deal. That's all. Move the guys on expiring deals because they're not going to be here. Ponyboy Curtis says, you guys should rename the show the Islanders Roll Over and Die podcast, since if it were up to you, we'd be tanking for the next 3 years instead of trying to be competitive. It doesn't have to be 3 years.
Honestly, I'm all for tanking.
If you have a good GM like Pittsburgh, you're able to revamp. In 1 year, you're able to turn around. 1 year. Actually, 2 years. The first year, he went all in.
Granted, I will say Pittsburgh has a lot better pieces than we have.
Jeremy Ford, Alvon, always with very well thought out questions. Would you trade Sorokin to Minnesota for Wallstead? Jiricek, a 22-year-old right-hand defenseman, first round pick, number 6 overall, plus some picks. What about you, X?
No.
Wallstead's a rookie. He's been really good this year.
Do you have another goalie in the pipeline?
The Islanders?
Yeah.
Why do you need-
Sorokin's the best goalie in the league, in my opinion.
Okay. He's also, 31 years old? The other kid's 23?
22 is what it says there.
The answer is yes and yes. Absolutely yes.
Wait, is it? I thought it's just a 22-year-old, right? It's just one for one, right?
Sorokin for Wallstead and Juracek, a right-handed defenseman, 22 years old.
Oh, it's two players.
Plus some picks.
Oh, okay, sure. I thought it was just one
Absolutely.
player. I was like, I would not do a 1-for-1 trade for the best goalie in the league right now.
I'm a yes for that. Yes for that. Because odds are when the Islanders are good enough, Sorokin's going to – remember, how does Sorokin survive? His athleticism, right?
Sure. Yeah.
The older you get, the less athletic you get, the more injured you get, soft tissue injuries. That's absolutely a deal I would make. Now, does it help you immediately? Nope.
No, but it
But
helps.
it probably does. Here's the thing. I think it might even help you immediately because it solves your issue on the right side defensively, right?
Mm-hmm.
Over the Target Media says we are not going to make the playoffs. That's fair. We might, but we might not. Anti-Censorship Society says Islanders completely changed direction after the Nelson trade. A haul when you think about what the Rangers got. True. Schaefer, Henneman, and Ritchie with guys like Aitchison, Eklund, and Politin. Yeah, absolutely. Over the Target Media once again says we shouldn't be trying to trade assets for win-now pieces. Agreed.
Yep.
Frank from Empire State, X-Man, don't be surprised if the NHL rigs the draft for the Rangers again, like they did for the Rangers before with Lafreniere. Like they did us too, since they effed us on the All-Star game.
Yep.
Thank God. Oh, well.
I still got the Pens getting the number 1 pick.
No, it's not going to be the Penguins. It's going to be the Rangers.
Watch.
You could absolutely talk me into the Rangers. Ponyboy Curtis says, does Barzell get a letter next year, finally? Are they going to re-sign Anders Lee? I hear there's rumblings that they are. If that's the case, the answer is no.
Yikes.
Freedom Fundamental says, Grumpy, I wouldn't have done the Panarin deal. I'm committed to the rebuild. Remember, draft position is more vital and our top prospects better than LA's. Okay. That's fair. For Panarin for that price, if it was actually that price for us, I was willing to do that. I wouldn't have traded for Soucy. That's who I wouldn't have traded for. Ponyboy Curtis says Schaefer is going to be on fire after the Olympic break. He can use a break more than just about anybody else. You could tell.
Yes, he's tired.
Yeah.
Yep.
Freedom Fundamental says, conspiracy theory X has been proven to be correct. The Islanders didn't deserve to beat Washington, but what was also clear is who the NHL wanted to win that game. Nuts calls, but good on Mayfield for beating Wilson. And final comment of the night. SSE says Barry's coaching made those teams and the Islanders would not have even made the playoffs if the season was not cut short. True. They were really good in the COVID years. Very true.
All righty. Grumpy, anything you want to say before we hop off tonight?
I just want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens and even those who don't. From the Grumpy Old Man and Son X.
Yep. I want to thank everybody for coming out and listening as always. Love the interaction, the comments. Sell. And excited about the Olympics coming up. Very excited about that. We talked about that on our All Sports podcast, went through a little breakdown of some of the events. But yeah, looking forward to that. And we will see you guys next time. Thanks, Grumpy.
My pleasure.